I knew that Brion Gysin had met Brion Jones, and the final project Brion Jones worked on was a recording of the master musicians of Jajuka.
Of course, it was a sort of pilgrimage to see Burroughs and Bowles, and of course, Brion. Already he was extremely involved in the Jajuka group, which is a bunch of heavy witchcraft, pre-Islamic brotherhood of men doing strange things, like bringing about ghosts.
Gysin and the Beats were drawn to Tangier in the 50s when it was an international free zone. It was in Morocco he discovered his past identity as a 10th century king of the assassins, the old man of the mountain, Hassani Sabah.
Feast time came around, the Eid al-Kabir, when each head of a family in all of Islam has to kill a sheep in memory of Father Abraham's sacrifice. I would make an attempt to get up there and occasionally take friends who were capable of listening. Among the writers that I took up to the mountain, one could name Paul Bowles, and then of course William Burroughs, who came up twice, I believe, Brion Jones of the Rolling Stones at that time, who went up to the mountain after he had come here with most of the group in 1968, it must have been.
There would be a car or a bus or something, what they call museums, sort of a religious feast where the great musicians would go and play and dance for three days. And every day, one day we'd go over to Tetuan, another day we'd be going to Marrakesh or to Guillemette or to Ouarzazate into the Sahara and then come back. And then 2 days later, it was by chance in Magnessa, we'd go back down. And Brion, since they all knew Brion on some level, or they respect all of the Moroccans, musicians for sure, but all the ordinary people had sort of because he spoke Arabic and they had this commanding presence. So each, for that 6 months, these endless, miraculous things took place.
Brion wasn't just a passing through. He lived there. He and Burroughs and Bowles actually took a house and lived there. That's something else. He was an expatriate, not only to France, like so many other great American writers in the 30s before them, but into an Arab society, Arab-speaking society. That's something else. That's really another universe. And he took from that a great amount of spiritual energy. Well, that's the police or the fire department. So we talk about Brion, and of course, starts a fire somewhere.
Rattle.